Hey, hello. Uh, let's see if this is working. Hey, everybody, welcome back to a new day where we will try to finish what we have started today. And by that, I mean that my plan for today would be to finish the main functionality of the app without implementing any UI yet. So yesterday we've initialized the project, added the necessary dependencies, created the file which will store the aliases and reference that in our terminal settings. Today the idea would be to provide, yesterday we also displayed all the aliases and added the functionality to add a new alias. And today the idea would be to allow the users to edit an alias and delete it. So basically we will implement all the CRUD operations on the alias file. Once we will finish that, the idea would be to create an installer, maybe send the app to a couple of friends to test it and give me some initial feedback as fast as possible. And meanwhile, to work a bit on the UI because currently it's pretty ugly. Good. So as the to-do for today would be edit alias, delete alias, maybe create the installer. And by that I mean the .dmg file. Okay. And the goal for today would be to have a functional CRUD operation with aliases. Okay, please let me know in the comments if everything works well, if the stream sounds good, if you can see and hear me well. I changed some settings since yesterday because I noticed there was some lag in the stream. Hopefully today it won't happen anymore. Let me just put the YouTube video in Twitter because there might be a better quality in on YouTube. So live, I don't know. Details, get shareable link. And I will post this here. Okay. Good, let's do this. Let's see where we left off yesterday. Come on. So we have, as a small recap, we have the main class which launches the application. We initialize our dependencies. We create the alias file as soon as we launch the application. At some point, we will move this in the installer and we run the app. Here we have just the alias manager dependency, and this is the main widget of the app. We have a change notifier provider to handle the state management. When we open the screen, we are fetching all the aliases from the file and display them. I mean, we display them later. We have a scaffold with an app bar that contains the title, a consumer of the alias view model, which is a class that manages the state of the aliases. We have the list of aliases and the manager that fetches and adds the alias when we press the button. We have a builder that builds the list of aliases, and each alias is displayed as text, which will be like a key value pair. And we have a floating action button that we use to first display a dialog, to add a new alias, which is an alert where we have the alias and the command, and the save button, which will save the alias. When we here we have the CRUD operations, so we create the file, we create an alias, we read all the aliases, and these are some additional methods to handle the file creation. Okay, and when we read all the aliases from the file, we convert them into an object to be easier to work with them later. As you noticed yesterday, probably whenever we have an error in the file, for example, if there's a blank row, the program will crash, which is okay because we don't really want any blank lines. Some mate or energy. Cool. And the app looks like this currently. We display all the aliases and we can add one test and command this test. And this should appear here as soon as we add it, which is pretty cool. Now let's edit the aliases, or should we delete them first? No, let's edit the aliases. The AI yesterday, before ending the stream, I asked the GPT to create the update method for me. So ideally we would have an edit button. I think later in the UI we will have like the screen split into columns and we'll have all the aliases on the left. And when we click one, we display it on the right and the user will be able to edit it there. But for now, let's just put an edit button to each alias, and whenever we click it, we open the values in the dialog and edit them directly. We can refactor this later. I have sent all the code, and the GPT told me that I should modify some stuff. First, update the alias view model with update alias. We have the alias view model, we have the fetch, we have the add, and we want to add an update alias, which will in turn call the update alias. Sorry for that. That was the YouTube URL, by the way. The update alias will call an update alias method in our alias manager. We have the old one, the new one, and the new command. Okay, I think we need to remember the old name to identify which alias will update. So we will have the list, and we will, by pressing the button, we identify the alias in the list, open the details, update it, and put it back. By put it back, I mean, I think we will save the entire file back again. Shouldn't be too bad because I don't expect it to be huge. Okay. And then let's adjust the add alias dialog for editing. So yeah, this one will just the dialog. First of all, let's create this method. Why not? Update alias, and this will be a future of list of aliases. It's async, and it will return something. Why is it slow? Very slow. Let me close this with a good restart of the app. Okay, we have the edit button, and this will return null. No. Whatever. We will implement it a bit later. Let's go and do the add alias dialog. We'll take some parameters. So we have the context, we have the alias view model, which we are already getting. We'll take an optional alias, and then it will use it if it exists. So if we press the edit button and we open this dialog from the edit button, which means we will pass alias to this method. If it exists, we put the name and the command in the fields, and whenever we save it, we will call the update alias. So this shouldn't have that many changes. So if we do this and okay. The changes are here, and apparently I noticed that the VCS isn't synchronized. It's a bit weird. Anyway, I'll fix it at some point. So if the alias is present, we put the name in the command in the text editing controllers that correspond to the input field. Then we change the title, and in here, if the text is not empty, so the text is not empty and the alias is null, we do an add. Otherwise, we do an update. So warning here. Yes. So this means that it's a good warning. I should tackle it at some point. So there's the build context that so we have the build context of the screen. Then we open the alert dialog with the same context, but this is an asynchronous operation. So technically, we could change the context on the main screen and it will remain in a weird state. So I think I should duplicate. I mean, make a copy of it and use the copy. Okay, this should look good. And we want to add an edit button in the UI. The UI will be in the app. There's the list view builder, item builder. We return the list type style and we will put a trailing, which will be at the end of the list. So at the end of the row, we will put an edit button. And we also need to get the alias in here. So we have item builder and we have the alias of index. I have a duplicate. So I haven't restarted my IDE since yesterday and it's still in a weird state. I should restart it, but I should restart it, but I didn't and I won't do it now because it will take a while. Anyway, in Flutter, a cool thing that I like is that if you put comma at the end of row, it will format it and indent it on a new line. If you want to, if I remove the comma, it will indent it on the same line, which is pretty ugly because you need to use the horizontal scroll and it's not ideal. So yeah, there aren't I don't know of any other programs that programming languages that do that. Pretty cool. Cool. So we have everything except the update, the actual update. Which means that we need to go into the alias manager and implement the update alias method. Okay, please provide the update alias implementation. Yep. Restarting the computer would have been a good idea before starting this stream, but hey, I'm learning as we go. I tried to create a thumbnail today for this, and it took way more than expected. It's pretty tough. So yeah. There's you're ever thinking about streaming, take into consideration that there are several things to do to set everything up, and it will take a bit more than expected. But it's fun. Anyway, let's get back to it. I need to issue the same prompt again. So please provide the update alias implementation. I'm curious if the AI will start hallucinating. Sometimes it loses the context after a while, and you need to send a more detailed prompt when this happens. So we read the existing aliases, find the alias that I wish to update, modify its command, and then rewrite the update list of aliases back to the file. Reading, modifying, and writing back to the file. Let's see old alias name, new alias, new command. Perfect. Let's test it. And we will fix it if anything. So we have old alias name, new command. App lines to alias objects. So we read if the file exists, We read the lines, then we convert the strings to alias objects, which will be easier for us to manipulate. We get the index of the alias. If we find the alias, we create a new alias with a new command, which means like we update it and we convert it back to string and we write the file. Okay, let's see if this works. Okay. I will rebuild the app. And yeah, see if this works. Uh, Takes a while to build it. Meanwhile, let me check if this is still running. Is okay, got the prompt to pass the security checks. Let me check something pretty quickly. Okay, this one. Oh, perfect. Okay, we have the aliases and we have an edit button for each alias. And now if we click the button, we will get an error, of course, or not. Let's see what happens when we click the button. So we are in the app. We have the button, and we should show the add alias dialog. Okay, if we press the plus button, we have it. If we press this button, we also have it. Apparently it didn't load. So let's edit this one. Edit and save. It got saved. If we run edit in the terminal, in a new terminal, this is the downside. Whenever we manage an alias, we need to restart the terminal. I don't think there's a way around that. Okay, something works. Let's edit the command and print the working directory, for example. Edit, and we issue the command pwd. Okay. This is the pwd. If we need again to restart the terminal, and if we hit edit, we got the pwd. Success, great success. The edit worked. Perfect. Let's thank the AI and then move on to the delete function. Always be polite. Please provide the implementation for the delete functionality. Oh, okay. Definitely my AI prompting could be faster and shorter, but this is how I'm used to write, so I don't mind wasting a bit of time since I don't have to waste time to write the code. Okay, moving on to the alias manager. Moving on to the alias manager, we will implement the delete alias method in here. You get the alias name. I'm not sure that we should create the file. I think just getting it is enough. The file should be there. So we have the file, and then otherwise we don't have anything to delete. If it exists, we read the aliases and we remove a alias on the line that starts with the alias name. Now, is this the best way of removing an alias? I don't know. We could technically get the file, convert to objects, delete the object. It will be the same. We will also check for the alias name. So yeah, I think we can go with this solution for now, and if we find any issues later, implement the other one. Okay, let's go with this. Trust technology. And we want to integrate the delete functionality into the UI. We want an icon button next to each alias in the list. Okay, so we go back to the app. We have the list style, list view builder. We have the alias, we have the text, and the trailing will wrap both of the icons basically. I think from here. And is the trailing. Did I copy enough parentheses? I don't know. Let's add const modifiers. This helps a lot with so if we have constant widgets and we add the constant keyword before them, it improves performance a lot because they won't ever rebuild, and I think there's only one instance of them. They definitely won't rebuild. I'm not sure about the instance. Anyway, better performance. And we want to implement the delete alias in the alias view model. Okay, and in here we will call this method. Okay. Now, if we do a hot reload, we should see the delete button, and I want to delete this one, and it worked. Let's see. I have the edit now, which works. I will delete the edit alias, and now it still works, but if I restart terminal, it doesn't work anymore. So we have so far, we moved pretty fast actually. We have the rest of the functionality. We've implemented this, and now we can create the installer. Okay. Now let's do a git status. We have some changes. We can commit them. I'm not sure why my git isn't synchronized. I'm trying to open the settings. We usually call this the demo effect. Whenever something works, when you try it, and then as soon as you show your work to someone else, it doesn't work anymore. Let's see version control, git I need to, yes, of course, use token. Ah, okay. Apparently my GitHub token expired and I need to change it. I won't do it here due to security reasons, of course. But it's okay. I will use it from the terminal. It should be fine. Let's quickly go over our changes. We have the alias manager that holds the method for manipulating the file. We have the CRUD operations. Let me put the private method below. Okay. So we have create alias, read alias, update alias. And here I will also do get file, not get create. Okay, lines, aliases. Bum. You have the delete and the method. Well, in the app, this will be reworked, of course. Get bindings. Don't think we need other changes in here. In the main should be fine. And should have the aliases for all of these. Well, I've committed everything. Now, in order to do the installer, there are some stuff to be done. I have another project where I've done it before. So I have a to-do list basically of the stuff you need to do in order to generate the DMG file. It requires Node.js and then in the library Node. So first thing is to install Node. You can use Brew or whatever, but I already have it installed. Okay. Then I want to install, I also need npm and I have it. I need to install a library called appdmg. So let's do npm install -g appdmg. And once we've installed this, time now. Once we have this installed, we need to do a Flutter build macOS. This will create an executable in the build file for macOS. And so it will create a release folder in the build file and a .app file which is the executable. Technically, we could use that, but Mac users are usually used to install DMG files. So just drag them in the applications folder, and I think that will be a bit better. We will also need to handle some permissions, but I think we will do that in the next stream. I can't take for too long today. Okay, we're building this. I can stop this, I think. We should have a build macOS. Have a release folder eventually. Then we will have to, we could start the app with the executable that's created here, and we will try it, of course. But then we will have to create another folder with some settings, and the settings will be used to create the DMG with all the icon and all of that. Once we do that, we should be ready to test the permissions eventually. And the next step will be in the next stream, we will work on the UI and handle the permissions. Okay, in the should be a release folder around here. This is the app, I think. Let's open it. Where is that framework? It should be here somewhere. I think this is the app. Voila, we have it. We can still edit and delete the alias. Okay, and sorry for this. Okay, so we have the app. Next step would be to create a new folder called installer. In here, a lot of files, new directory installer. And in the this will keep the setup for creating the DMG. And for the configuration, eventually we will create the app for both Windows and Linux. But my idea was to start with macOS because I think it has the roughest security checks. So if we manage to handle the permissions on macOS right, then Windows and Linux will be easier. So I will create a new folder in here called macOS DMG. And here we will keep all the configuration, and I will create a new config.json. And in the config.json, we will run a command. So we will call the fdmg library that we've installed earlier with npm, and we will pass the config.json, and we will put the image name basically. And in this config.json, we will have to create something like the title of the app, which will be alias genie, an icon, which we don't have yet. We will have to build the logo and all of that. Let's call it alias genie ICNS. And the contents. This will be an array, and it will be an array of objects, and we will have x equals 44, 8, y equals 344, and type will be link, and path will be / applications. Okay. Okay. And this one, we'll just duplicate this one. We have 192. Y will be 344. This will be file. And it will be our build path to alias Genie app. So it will be build macOS, build products, release alias Genie app, copy path. We want the path from content root. So build is 2 steps above. So we need to do this and remove the comma. These contents are used so whenever you open PMG, you will get a new window which will prompt you to drag the app in the application. So this is the position of the applications. This is the position of the app. You basically drag it in the applications. And near the config, we need to also create an icon. Let's call it the same, actually. ICNS. Okay, we don't have it. We will put it eventually. We have the config and now I think I will create an installer script. So I need to run the command in here, but if I do it every time to build, it's easier to just put everything in a script. This is what I've done in the previous project, and it was a good idea. So I will create install.sh, and I want it to be /bin/bash e echo removing old image if it exists. And we do if the file exists. Okay. If the file exists, then our alias genie.dmg f5 close the if. Okay. And echo building alias genie app Flutter clean. Do I want Flutter clean? macOS. Generate theme. So we are generating it with DMG, macOS, DMG /config.json and alias genie.dmg, right? Good work. So we go into the macOS folder, we use this JSON and create this /genie.dmg. And we echo a success. Okay, now let's copy path here. chmod 777, this one, and then run dot install NextJS. Did I put it in the macOS DMG? No. Okay. I run the script, removing old image if it exists, it doesn't. Building. I'm doing the clean. Maybe I shouldn't wait. It will take a bit more work. There's a failure. Oh yeah, the Flutter clean will delete the build directory and it will rebuild the image. Okay, we're building the app. Sorry for that, I need to send a text message. No, sorry for that. So we're building and the result should be a DMG file. Building the app. Let's take a 3 minutes break. Actually, I think no. Let's take a longer break. I need to go my car today. If I get back in at a decent hour, I might start another stream and start working on the design a bit on the UI. Otherwise, we'll continue tomorrow with a longer session. So the command has started running, the one that will build the DMG file. And the image should be ready, and we have it in here. It's pretty cool. Now let's open this in Finder. It's here, and it's 18 megabytes. And if we double click it, there are, so I could maybe put this a bit upper. Anyway, I could move this. But now if we drag and drop this into applications, and then I go in my applications, I should see the Alias Genie app installed, which is exactly what we want. If we double click it, As that's in use, I need to quit it. Okay. So again, if I double click it, the permission stuff that we here. So this is okay. In order to open it, there should be something in the privacy and security in here. So here, we get a prompt in here, and if we do open anyway, it should work. Prompts you for the password. Trust it. Okay. Open anyway. No. Open. Open anyway. Yes. Didn't work. Why doesn't it work? Let's try it. Let's reinstall it. How do I Anyway, we have the DMG now. We need to fix the permissions and make it work, which will be a subject for another day. That concludes our stream today. It was a bit faster than expected, but I don't want to start working on the UI now and get interrupted after like 20 or 30 minutes because, again, I have an appointment with my car and I have to do that. But in the next session, we will focus on implementing and designing first the UI. We need to think about how to display the aliases and pick some colors, some fonts, and all of that, and then start implementing that. That would be one topic. The next topic would be to fix the permissions and like ask the users for permissions to create and modify a file, and then create the installer eventually. But first, I would focus on the UI, make it look a bit better. Okay, thank you all for watching, and see you in the next one. I'm looking forward to any feedback that you might have. It would help. It would help a lot. Thank you. Yeah.